Christina Ritchie. If you want more pars, but you don't have good compression or smash factor, then let's improve that today with the top 5 tips to help you get better compression. And this is with all your clubs. All right, so I like to think of compression as smash factor. Smash factor can be measured. How much energy are you imparting on the ball? Are you hitting it in the center? That's number 1.
This is too funny. I had to pause the video. So this little truck here, this is the cart lady. She drives in a full-fledged pickup truck. This one's actually a little smaller. Last year, it was like an F-150 driving down the cart path. It was too funny. All right, back to the tip.
That's how you're going to get max compression. You got to hit it in the center. And then how square is the face when you're delivering the ball? And how much energy are you using to compress the ball? All right, that gives you that rocket launch off the face. And this is with all your clubs. So we're going to talk about the top 5 ways that you can get more compression with your ball striking.
All right, so Mark, earlier on the range, hold it. Hit it here, all because of the sequence. His shoulders were opening too soon. He felt like he kept his back to the target longer. And what else did you feel?
Hips turned.
He makes sure that he rotated his hips. Now look at it. Bada bing, bada center.
All right, so the first step to better compression is club face awareness. All right, where is the club face in space? And then is it open, square, or closed? All right, most players come into the ball with an open club face. And when the club face is open, the grooves of the club point to the sky. So that's why you're hitting behind it and topping it, and it feels really thin and just no good, no compression. All right, so you actually got to deliver this club square. All right, and it's going to look closed to a lot of players, but this is actually square to the ball. All right, so that is good compression. Players come in with a face that points to the sky. All right, now how does that happen? Well, the first thing to check is your grip. A lot of players have a really weak grip. All right, so weak grip. A lot of players have a weak grip. All right, where the line created by your thumb and index on the glove hand points to your front shoulder. All right, that's going to keep the face open unless you add a ton of forearm rotation. All right, and that's going to really affect your compression. So check your grip. That's number 1. All right, number 2, if your club face is open, check your takeaway. A lot of players over-rotate their forearms during the takeaway, and that club face is wide open. Or if they have a good takeaway at the top, they add a lot of cup, and that opens the club face. So you're going to want to flatten the wrist to square it up. All right, that's really important. An open club face is not going to give you the compression down at the ball, and this applies to your driver as well, all your clubs. All right, the other thing that affects compression is your posture. All right, posture in motion, so we call that dynamic posture. So what's your posture doing in motion? Are you coming up and down? That's what I see most players do. They come right out of their posture, so they get their hands too high and they lose the crease in their hip. All right, they never sit into this back butt. All right, so you really got to sit into this back trail hip. 1, to leverage the ground, and 2, to help you stay in your posture. And the same deal on the downswing. You got to sit into this trail hip. All right, I talk about this a lot in my tips because it's really, really important. It helps you to stay in your golf posture. All right, players just don't. They have no crease in their hip. All right, so you're not using the ground properly, and then when you lose your crease in your hip, it takes you out of your posture. All right, so we really want to stay in our posture. The other reason why you might be coming out of your posture is a couple popular reasons. You're trying to keep your head on the ball. Right, so if you're trying to keep your head on the ball, right, trying to stay really centered, a lot of players get this action at the top. All right, if you have this action at the top, you're not going to be able to come down properly. You're most likely going to come over the top, and you're not going to get good compression. All right, so just make sure that you're allowing the head to move a tiny bit so you can have this angle with your spine and not this one. This one's not going to create compression. This one is going to definitely help you to create compression and help you stay in your posture. All right, that's a really important point. The other reason why you might be coming out of your posture is you're not getting into your posture properly. All right, so you're doing what I call a knee dive. All right, so you're sending your knees this way first, and that shuts off your core and your butt. So there's no chance you're gonna load into your butt. None. All right, so you gotta hinge from your hips. All right, you gotta hinge from your hips, and then just crack the knees, and then you're gonna be able to sit into your back hip, all right, on the backswing and downswing. That's a really important point. How you get into your posture, believe it or not, is gonna affect compression. All right, another popular reason why you might be coming out of your posture that affects compression is the hands. You're going beyond your end range. So players are really trying to get their hands up high and coming out of their posture in an effort to do it.
All right, so we have two awesome players here. This was day one in camp. All right, so I drew a line on Laura's head, and we're going to see that as she goes to the top, she's going to break through it. All right, 'cause she's trying to get her hands up really high. You can see that she's basically standing up. From down the line view, we have Hillary here. Redraw my line. I'm going to draw a line on our hip crease. All right, so this is our hip crease at setup. We actually want to increase this as we turn into our backswing. And as she takes it back, she actually stands up. All right, so she completely loses the hip crease. You see that? All right, so that's just another form of losing posture. All right, so you can see that she's lost her side bend. She doesn't have any side bend, which gets the shoulder down. All right, so both of these will really affect compression.
All right, so a lot of players swing past their end range of motion. All right, so what I want you to do is take the club in your lead hand and then swing back. All right, as high as this hand goes is as high as your backswing is. If I take it with my trail arm, I can get my hand way up here. All right, but I can't reach it with my lead arm, so players stand up to try to do it, and they come out of their posture. All right, so it's really important to swing within your range of motion, and that would be it for me. All right, if I tried to get up here, I'm going to come out of my posture. All right, so the reason why you could not be getting compression is you're too vertical, you're too steep. All right, so players that come in the downswing and the club is vertical where the trail arm goes out and this shaft is vertical versus elbow in and the shaft pointing just outside the target line, you're going to have the best opportunity to compress the ball. This here, you're going to have a hard time. You're most likely going to swing too left and you're going to close the face early. All right, so you're not going to have good compression. All right, so it's really important to swing on plane.
All right, so just so everyone's super clear on what on plane is and what constitutes steep in the downswing, is we're drawing a line through the elbow. We want the hands and club to work down that on the downswing. Right, so Laura's actually good going back. And then when she gets to the top, she stands up because she goes beyond her end range. And now her hands, as she comes down, are above the swing plane. All right, so there's no chance she's going to get good compression here. Her swing direction is going to be too left. It's going to be over here. It's going to go this way. She's not going to get good compression or extension. Right, so she struggles with top shots from the fairway especially. Over here off the tee, what I was referring to with the elbow, we're going to see in a second here. Trail elbow. As Steve starts down, he's actually a lefty. I flipped him. His club face is actually a little open. Now as he comes down, he's moving towards the ball and his trail elbow is flaring. All right, so he basically jammed himself up by moving towards the ball, which forced his elbow out and made his driver shaft really steep. All right, that's vertical. It should be out here. All right, so that's no way he's going to get good smash factor with that position right there.
All right, so work with a golf professional to get yourself on plane. This trail elbow on the downswing wants to work in front of your torso. So this elbow points towards the target. It does not point this way. You can see what it does to the shaft. All right, so if this elbow works out on the downswing, look what it does to the shaft. There's no way I can keep my trail wrist hinge when I get the elbow out. All right, so if the elbow goes this way, I'm going to lose this. So it's really important to maintain your trail wrist hinge. And how do you do that? So you really need to make sure that you're using your body on the downswing to get your arm structure in front. It's the lower body rotation towards the target that gets the elbow behaving, and then you can maintain your trail wrist hinge. If your elbow goes out because you're not using your lower body, you're going to lose your trail wrist hinge. And if you lose your trail wrist hinge, bye-bye compression.
All right, nice.
So if you really want compression, the glue that puts it all together is tempo. All right, so what's your tempo? The ideal tempo with your long game is 3-to-1. So the backswing is 3 times as long as the forward stroke. Unfortunately, a lot of players are either too fast, 2-to-1, or just too dang slow, like 5-to-1. All right, and that makes your swing inefficient, either one of those. So if you want to be efficient with your golf swing, that's going to help you deliver this club square to the ball a lot easier, because there's not a lot of things that can go wrong with a 3-to-1 tempo if your setup is good and you're on swing plane. All right, so players that work with the Tour Tempo app find that the swing is a lot easier because they're cutting out 2 extra beats. So say if your backswing's super, super slow, they're cutting out 2 extra beats, so their swing feels a lot more efficient and easier, so they can deliver this club square and get better compression.
All right, so pinch your arms together, keep them pinched. See the difference?
Oh, wow, look at that. That's a beautiful...
If you're too fast, you're going to get out of sequence, so you're most likely going to be over the top. So using the Tour Tempo app to get the 3-to-1 is going to make your swing really efficient and help you get more compression.